It's luxurious, but it's whimsical, and it's almost perfection. Hi there, my name is Kevin, and I make honest, unsponsored, and to-the-point narrated video tours about resorts and flights all over the world. This is video number 102, and today we're at my favorite resort in Bali, the BELMOND JIMBARAN PURI. You're gonna love this one, I'm sure of it. Welcome to Jimbaran, a centuries-old fishing village in Bali just to the south of the international airport. If you'd like to know more about the exact rate that I paid for my stay, as well as the next 5 videos in queue, check out the description below. As we walk into the nondescript and pretty exclusive feeling entrance and reception area, let me tell you a story. A bit of a 6-year-long love story actually. That Hollywood story of never noticing that your soulmate has been standing in front of you all along? Here's what I mean. For years, I've been going to the Cayumanis Jimbaran. It's an all-villa property just behind the BELMOND. I mean literally wrapping around the BELMOND. I love the Cayumanis, but they didn't have any reasonable refundable rates when I was booking this trip, so I skipped it. As the Cayumanis is not beachfront, their guests have beach privileges at the BELMOND, or at least they did before COVID. So, on all of my previous trips to Bali, I spend the day at the BELMOND thinking it was nice enough, but never really paid it any mind since the Cayumanis had my eye. Well, after this stay, I sent Cayumanis a breakup text and proposed to BELMOND because I've found my new favorite resort in Bali. Speaking of finding your next favorite resort in Bali, if you're looking for one for your next holiday, be sure to click the thumbs up button and subscribe for 3 new videos each week. Today's tour is part of a 9-part Bali series, and there's some really incredible properties to check out. I'm always looking for feedback, so also feel free to leave suggestions that you may have in the comments below. And as always, my new Patreon is linked in the description should you feel a tingle in your pocket. Alright, on to the tour. As you can see already, everything here is fairly small scale. Originally opened in the mid-80s with just 9 small cottages, the resort has grown into its current 64 villas and cottages, set on a quiet 500-foot stretch of Jimbaran's best beach. In case that didn't stand out, let me just say that again. A 500-foot beach, about 150 meters, for a resort with just 64 rooms. That's kind of unheard of. Just down the road, the Intercontinental Jimbaran has a massive 1,300-foot beach. But that's for their 430 rooms. Let's take a closer look at the location now. It's really one of the more convenient 5-star properties on the island, just a 10 to 15 minute drive from the airport, and on a fantastic stretch of Jimbaran Bay. Specifically because further to the south, beyond the Intercontinental, is where hordes of beach barbecues operate so that the beach, which is all public access, is jam-packed down there at sunset. Walking past reception and the lotus pond that you might want to keep an eye out for at night, we make our way to the heart of the property where the beautiful and really big pool is located. Considering how many villas on property have their own private pools, there's always a good seat to be had at the main pool. But it's also just nice to have a really large pool with spread out seating. You don't need to feel like you're inches away from the guest beside you. In 2006, the property was purchased by the Orient Express Hotel Group, which rebranded as BELMOND in 2016. BELMOND has just 46 properties, plus some pretty epic train journeys across the globe. And it's pretty safe to say that each and every one of them is as unique as the locale that it's in. For me, BELMOND is on a similar level to a St. Regis or Mandarin Oriental, with 2 distinct differences. BELMOND lacks pretension. Despite the incredible properties they manage, they don't take themselves that seriously. And there's just this sense of whimsy about them. Secondly, I believe all, if not most, BELMOND properties have their own rich history that predates BELMOND. They're not running around across the globe looking for the next building site. They're usually looking for the next diamond in the rough, or perhaps, with their new owners, looking for the next crown jewel. Their new owners, by the way, are LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. And that brings us to, well, one of the stars of the show, the powdery soft golden sand beach, with again, so much space to spread out. Attached to the main restaurant, which we'll visit for dinner, is the Puri bar, which has loads of different seating options on the beach itself. As I mentioned in my Andas video, a beach resort needs to have a variety of seating options on the beach in order to win me over. It needs more than just row after row after row of comfy loungers, and the BELMOND certainly has enough variety. Jimbaran Beach is 2.5 miles long, or around 4 kilometers, and it starts at the airport and runs due south. With the exception of an unfortunate seasonal garbage tide that plagues some of the beaches in Bali, usually in January or February, the beach and the water is clean and clear. On the other side of the restaurant, there are loads more loungers, which brings me to a few words about the service as we make our way to my cottage. If you've watched my videos previously, you know that I usually like to pick one example of service that I think could describe the full experience. After checking in, the first interaction that I had with any staff was on the beach during happy hour. The first time I ordered, the friendly server asked for my room number. When he returned with my drink, he addressed me by name, and from that point on, every service staff, on the beach, in the restaurant for dinner, in the other restaurant for breakfast, in reception, they all addressed me by name without needing to ask again. It was natural and impressive and really set the tone for a small property that feels like an extension of home. Later in the video, I'm going to speak a little bit about why I love the scale of this resort so much. For this stay, I booked a standard garden view cottage, and at check-in was upgraded to a beachfront cottage, number 15 to be exact. The resort has a mix of cottages and villas, the cottages being a bit smaller and they don't have their own private pool. Private pool or not though, they're outfitted beautifully. As you walk inside, the first thing that you'll notice is the smell of the naturally thatched roof, a scent that, for me at least, sends my brain directly to vacation mode. I think recently I've been using the word curated a little bit too often in my reviews. Generally I'm describing a really great menu or something, but here I have to say that the furnishings of the room are really well curated. I think it's pretty difficult to design a room in a tropical resort that feels equally authentic, inviting, and accommodating. In my experience, most resorts usually end up focusing on just two of those. There are many beautiful local textiles, but not too many. Lots of ornate carved wood furniture, but not too much. Various local crafts, but not kitsch. It's just a really well-balanced room. As we make our way to the desk area, let me just point out that it's nice to see a well-stocked room in this day and age. I'm not saying that I need stationery or postcards or activity guides in the room, but it's a hotel. That's part of the package, and I think a lot of properties that have been recently relying exclusively on QR codes, they're missing a piece of the picture. Also on the desk is a selection of tea and pour-over coffee sachets. So I think you've seen the score already, just 2 points shy of a perfect 100. As much as I love the cottages, those 2 points were lost in here. Absolutely nothing major. In general, the room is in pristine condition. For me, it was about two things. First of all, the doors. The exterior glass ones were a bit rickety and a pain in the neck to lock, and the interior wardrobe doors were a pain just because in order to use the exterior door, you had to make sure that you closed the closet and the TV area off. The second thing was a few details in the bathroom, which I'll get to in a moment. There were plenty of outlets throughout the room, but it is an older design, so don't expect a litany of USB ports at the bedside. Last in the bedroom was the full wardrobe, which is big enough I think, but it was lacking a solid luggage rack or a bench. They did proactively offer a collapsible luggage rack if necessary. The bathroom, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with. First, if you told me that I was going to a resort as old as I am, with wooden countertops in the bathroom, I'd probably roll my eyes. But actually, they were in great condition and lended a really warm feel to the bathroom. The soaps are certainly one thing that I think does need to be upgraded though. Rather, the soap dispensers. If they make them that small so that they can completely change out the contents in between guests, I can kinda understand, but they just felt cheap. The other thing that I mentioned before that I don't like about the bathrooms is the bathtub and the shower combo. I love the outdoor shower. I always love an outdoor shower. But there's only a single knob. We're in the tropics, so the water is never really ice cold, but I would not want to take a shower out there at night. Inside, of course, there is a sunken bathtub, which really dates the room by the way, and you could use the handheld shower in there, but it's just odd. Anyway, that's all the criticism that I've got, so let's head to the beach for a bit of plane spotting and happy hour. I mean, it's not St. Martin or my cow, but it's enough to keep me entertained for a couple hours. The beer didn't hurt either. By the way, surprisingly very reasonable prices for all food and drink on offer. And actually, the rooms are really reasonable. Considering it's a BELMOND in an ideal spot, year-round rates usually start in the low to mid $300 range. If this was a Four Seasons, an Oberoi, or a Rosewood, the price would easily be double or triple for a relatively similar experience. The lighting in the restaurant is pretty dim at night, so let's take a quick look at Nelayan Restaurant now, where we're going to have dinner. And please check out the menu. I do honestly think that it's the best mixed Western and local dinner menu that I've seen on the island. And you can also take a look at the prices. For reference, For USD and Euro, divide by 15, Aussie dollar by 11, and the pound by 18. Dinner started with some sort of seafood fritter, which is escaping me at the moment as an amuse. For a starter, I had a crusted Bali tuna with dried coconut, turmeric, crispy shallots, exotic local fruit, fern tips, tamarind, and palm sugar emulsion, topped with a sambal kecombrang. Following that, I had a Sumatran-style beef rendang with local veg and steamed rice. Overall, a really excellent meal. The next morning at sunrise, everything began to come alive, and it was like a chorus of birds all around. Sunrise is when I recorded the nature soundtrack featured in this video that you may have heard already. For breakfast, it was time to check out Tunjung, the other restaurant on property near reception. The open-air restaurant is beautifully decorated and features a small buffet plus a supplemental a la carte menu. If you watched my 6 Senses Uluwatu video, this is the kind of offering I wish they would focus on. A smaller, higher quality buffet with an additional a la carte menu. I also love the setup, the full buffet displayed on and in actual pieces of furniture. For the hot mains on offer, I appreciate that there were a few more authentic options in addition to the standard nasi goreng and mee goreng which every hotel on the island serves. The a la carte menu was small but had a nice mix of Western and local dishes, some savory, some sweet. And by the way, when an Indonesian dish says sweet, it means sweet with a capital S. Before we head over to the spa, I just want to give you a quick tour around the rest of the property near the villas further away from the beach. But don't worry, I'll make it snappy. The rooms you see here now are all of the cottages. The rooms that you'll see with small ponds in front are all of the pool villas. I also kinda love that there's just an outdoor reading lounge just in the middle of the property. There's also a full library and boutique near the reception area, and 3 temples throughout the property. If you're interested, there's a sunrise ritual that you can join, where the staff will take you along to make offerings at each of the temples and explain the process and the meaning behind it. Alright, so the spa is my last stop today. My rate included an hour-long treatment, which was nice, but I do kinda wish that the spa was just a little bit bigger. There's plenty of privacy, but you do kinda feel like the spa was just only built to host 1 or 2 people at the same time, which may very well be the case. Before your treatment, you'll be able to choose your preferred oil and scrub depending on what treatment you're having, followed by a dose of jamu, the traditional Indonesian turmeric and ginger tonic. Last but certainly not least, why I think the scale of the resort is so important here. It's spacious, but it's intimate. You'll quickly recognize all the staff, and they will you. Everything just becomes second nature, and it really does just start to feel like a tropical, luxurious, and pampering version of home. So, what are we thinking? Well, I already proposed, so I think you know where I stand. The BELMOND JIMBARAN PURI is, I think, the best of Bali. Authentic but familiar, luxurious but unpretentious. It joins a very small list of properties on my channel that I will certainly visit again. Now, onto the flip-flop score. Feel free to pause to take a closer look, but there's really not going to be any surprises in here. If you made it this far, or you hit that thumbs up button or subscribe because of this video, a huge thank you, and I hope to see you next time at the Samsara Ubud.